This is how California looks now, people.
So I saw that video and it made me really think of basically how humans look at things and how we think, as if what we see on the surface is the problem itself. Like, you see an issue and you're like, oh, right there, that's the problem. But really, that's not the problem. That is a response or reaction or a result of the underlying problem, the real actual problem. And that is just a result of the actual problem. The real problems you don't get to see. They're not out in the open on the surface. So people look at homelessness like, look at what homelessness has done to our city. What a terrible mess. And that is the most upside down, backwards, literally ignorant way of looking at things, because it's not the homelessness and the homeless people that's the issue. It's the country, it's the world as a whole, and the way that things are systematically. Greed and corruption is that. Homelessness is a result of greed and corruption, and stigma, misunderstanding, and people's ignorance in the privilege that they live in, and they have no idea, So it's like, it's just crazy to think people will look around at something and think that that is the problem, but that is just a result of what the underlying problem is. So again, it's crazy how we look at stuff. We judge people by how they look, whether we like to admit it or not, directly, indirectly, consciously or subconsciously. We do. Everything is based off of judgment of appearance and image, which sucks. Like, I hate this world. Is not a, it's it's nothing I want to be a part of. You know what I mean? Anyways, just think about that for a second. Like, when you get a rash on your skin, people look at that like, ew, look at this mess. Like, look at this problem. That's not the problem. That is a reaction to the actual problem, and the problem is internal. You can't see it. You know what I mean? But those are signs and symptoms that surface where you can see it. But people can't see the root cause of that problem, not knowing that it's a result of a real core problem that's internal. And that's exactly what it is with homelessness. And even, honestly, like, even like crime and stuff. Like, when I was homeless, I realized that the game is really a game. It's really a game, and it's not playing by its own rules, and there's no fairness, and it's nothing but trickery. The system as a whole makes us think that we're equal to it and we have a say, like voting. People think votes do something. You don't realize that the narrative has already been selected long before the opportunity to vote became, okay? It was already arranged what the outcome was going to be before voting even started, okay? If you don't believe that, and if you don't know that, and you choose not to believe that, you can choose to be ignorant. That's your choice. But, people can live in whatever fake, happy-go-lucky world they want to live in, but it's just, humans are just like this, you know what I mean? By nature. It takes conscious effort to see past that and to actually bear witness to what is happening behind the scenes and under the surface. And then all of a sudden you sound like a conspiracy theorist. So, you know what I mean? Like, naturally humans have an instinct of trying to save each other from fate, from death, from harm. You know, if you've seen a stroller going out into the street, you don't think you're gonna immediately instinctively uh, go and try and stop that? You don't want someone to get hurt. You don't want someone to die. You know what I'm saying? So, or you don't want someone to be taken advantage of, manipulated. We know it happens, but when you witness it, obviously you're gonna try and show people what's happening. But see, the thing is like, I guess because of my past and my history, I have an advantage, even though people looked at it as a disadvantage. You know, oh, you're a criminal. You're never gonna be shit. You're a bum. You're a homeless person. Blah blah blah. I may have been a criminal. I may have been, in and out of jail, you know, in my life. But now it's turned into a blessing. Okay, so when I had evil intent, I mastered what it's like to be evil and be able to manipulate anybody I want. I could take anything I want from you, whether it's by tricking you, whether it's by manipulating you, whether it's by force. You know what I'm saying? I was capable of doing those things. You know what I mean? I went farther than anybody else. People thought that they were safe from who I was. You know what I mean? They thought that the law would protect them. They thought their front door that was locked could protect them, and it didn't. You know what I mean? So I know what the devil thinks like. I know what evil people do. I know how they think. I know how they orchestrate systems, and I know how they operate. I know what frequency they're on. The average civilian that hasn't been in jail, that hasn't been criminally, demonically, satanically evil, like involved in evil and mastered it. Not everybody does. Everybody thinks they're fucking evil and wants to be cool and be a gangster and trying to be one up, get one up on the next person, and everyone thinks they're a savage and shit. The real motherfuckers that really went to jail, that lived that life, even me, like I'm just a small fish in a pond. You know what I mean? But I did as far as you want to go. You know what I mean? Like, to the point where my next step was, life in jail, or I was gonna be killed by people that are fucking more powerful than me. You know what I mean? And have the money and have the resources and have the power to, um, you know, do away with me if you land on that radar. But my point being is that people are easily manipulated. The average person, the civilian, the taxpayer, they're blind. They're not. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't. They think they do. They believe they do, and the system is built in a way to finesse that in them to make them think that they are wise and intelligent based off of false education. You know what I mean? Education that serves the system. You go to college, you go into debt, you learn how to serve somebody else. You learn how to serve a system. You learn how to serve the system, or an organization and corporation or company. You're built to serve on a lower level as a laborer or as a, you know what I mean? You're not a boss, that's for sure. You're not going to college to be a fucking boss. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're going for business, then potentially, yeah. But you're still getting pimped out because you could have did that without the college system. But people think, listen, the devil comes in innocent form. It'll offer you something that you need and make you think that you're in a position of power, and you're in a position of, it'll make you feel like you're intelligent. The system will think, we think the system's there for us. The government is there for us. The law is there for us. College and the schools are there for us, to educate us, to better us. You know what I mean? And at one point in time, maybe those things were true. And maybe that was the foundation it was built on, but it's obviously no longer that. You know what I mean? So this is all by design. All of the bad things that you are witnessing in this world is a direct result of things that are underlying, that have been happening, and now things are surfacing, but people cannot identify where the problem is actually rooting and coming from, because it's under the skin, it's underlying, it's not visible, it's not on the surface. The results are on a surface, like homelessness, poverty, crime. You know, when you get when you get on the other side of the fence, when you're trapped and you're homeless and you're a criminal and you can't get a job and you're at a complete disadvantage, and people can say, oh, well, that was your own stupid poor choices. Yeah, well, when I was 14 years old, I didn't ask for my father to fucking have me answer the door and sell crack cocaine. I didn't ask for fucking, grow up around a bunch of fucking dudes that half of them are dead and half of them are in jail for fucking first degree murder. That's a real thing. That really happened. That was really my fucking life. I was a child and I grew up selling fucking crack by fucking force, by inherited. I was inherited into that lifestyle. I was inherited into that shit, man. And there's a lot of motherfuckers that are. So it's not people's poor fucking choices. You don't even know what the fuck you're doing when you're 14 years old. And if your parents tell you to answer the door and pass some shit over to the motherfucker that knocked on it, you're gonna fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about influences in your life as a child. It's all about your foundation, and it's all about being aware that this world is not for you. It's against you. And as long as you serve it, it will serve you. But as soon as you no longer are an asset to the system or beneficial to the system, you're not a working, tax-paying motherfucker, you will get tossed and swept under the rug. And when you wake up from that betrayal of society and the system basically calling you unworthy to be a part of it, you wake up and you realize that the system is against you. And then you start to experience it one step at a time. When you try to leverage yourself back up again, starting from negative below zero. You know what I'm saying? Starting from a homeless shelter, being homeless, having no family to help you, having no parents to help you, having no friends to fucking give you couches to. You're on your fucking own, buddy. You think you're alone, you don't know what the fuck alone really is. You know what I'm saying? But again, like, I don't mean to go off on a rant. I haven't made a video in a while, so I don't script what I say. Everything I do is authentic. It comes literally from the soul, man, from the heart. And everything I do is authentically. It's literally off the top of my head. I don't, you know what I mean? I actually operate better being that way. Not thinking about what I'm going to say, not thinking about what I'm going to do, not scripting it. And actually, I get a better result and people respond better. But I want to get back to my point. My point is that we look at homelessness like a problem. Like it's the problem. We're the fucking problem, man. The system is the problem. Society is the problem. Because society has been formed by the system itself. And the majority of people think that they're correct. And the majority of people move in the same faction, in the same operation, in the same movement, through the same system, in the same way. And get blinded to what's actually happening because they're satisfied. Some people are blinded by certain things in their life. Like, you might have a partner that satisfies you, but they're not loyal to you behind your back, but you would defend them. You would be like, no, my partner didn't lie to me. No, they didn't cheat on me. No, wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Because you're satisfied by them. They actually treat you good, but that doesn't mean that they don't do things behind your back or take advantage. You know what I'm saying? It happens. People genuinely care about people, but they still deceive them and they still betray them. You know what I'm saying? So the system is the same way. We're satisfied with it because it provides something for us that's useful, that's beneficial to us. So we are in denial that the system is not loyal to us because it's giving us something. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't make sense. It's like, well, why the hell would the system want to do anything to me when it leverages me? It doesn't make no sense. Well, guess what? If I wanted to, see, this is why it's amazing that I got to be a criminal and have a criminal mind, because if that's what people think, I could literally do anything I want to you, because I could befriend you and be your best friend and be the most lively character that you've ever been around, and I'll give you stuff. You know, I'll give you a free beer. I'll give you a free spliff. I'll give you a free line of coke. I'll even let you borrow some money. Because later I'm going to come back and say, guess what? You owe me that money plus interest, plus fucking tax. Now what? That's when you get to see what type of a situation you got yourself into. Never take anything. You know what I'm saying? And where I come from, when people are trying to get close to you or be your friend, they're either trying to fucking kill you or rob you or fuck your bitch. So I'm sorry for my vulgar language or bluntness or whatever, but you know that's a reality, bro. You know what I mean? Where I come from. If other people can't understand that, then that's not my problem. Then you're lucky that you can't speak my language because you don't want to. It's nothing nice, you know, but I was really just thinking, man, when I seen that video, and she's like, this is what homelessness has become. Look at this problem. And I'm thinking in my head, like, lady, you don't even realize why that's there. You're looking at homeless people like they're the fucking problem. Your fucking country is the problem. Okay? The dollar's the fucking problem. The government is the fucking problem. Like, this is fucking psychotic. People only see what's on the surface and think and attack it. You know what I'm saying? You don't go after the fucking drug dealer, though. You think the drug dealer's fucking cool. You listen to all the hip-hop songs with the fucking gold chains and shit. You think you're a fucking gangster when you listen to fucking hip-hop music in your car in the morning, when you're on your way to work, when you live in the fucking suburbs. Dummy. But you won't go after the drug dealer. You just pick on the fucking homeless person or the disabled person or the fucking handicapped fucking disabled person. If I probably said that twice. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Going off on a little bit of a rant right now. Can't lie. Sorry about that. But it's the truth, man. And honestly, I'm somebody that really... I used to not talk. I never talked. I never thought I would ever put my face in a camera and fucking talk shit on a phone. Like, it's not my style. The lifestyle I lived, it's a violation where I come from. If motherfuckers seen me on the internet and then I'm living the life that I was living out there, I would have been killed. They would have stomped the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Because people that live that lifestyle aren't hanging out on the internet showing their face on videos and shit. I don't live that life anymore. I'm lucky enough to get to live it and got out of it. You know what I mean? Everyone else got scathed. Everybody else got hit. Everyone else died. Everybody else went to jail. One of my best friends just did 10 years. You know? So, I can see things from a different perspective. I can see everybody getting played by their partners. But they're in bliss, unaware. And it's a tragedy. But when you try to wake people up and show them what's plotting on them, they become offended because it's challenging their intelligence. Like, you're telling me that I don't have the ability to sense or be aware that my government or my partner or my lover or my wife, my husband is fucking lying to me or using me or keeping something from me or you playing me or whatever, doing something wrong to me. How dare you? And I'm not fucking dumb. It's a pride thing. You know what I mean? People are prideful. They don't listen, and you become the enemy when you call it out, when you say what's real, when you tell them, when you speak what the fuck people think inside of their fucking heads, but they won't say with their mouth. You know what I mean? We went down a road of where it's like fake is the new real, and being dishonest and not being vocal not being expressive and not telling the truth and being honest with one another is the new way to be. And people cringe when a motherfucker like me starts to say some real shit, because everybody's living in a fake world and their fake fucking life that they live, being fake to everybody around them, but smiling in their face, and everybody thinks that we're all friends and shit. It's the most sickening fucking thing that I've ever witnessed in my life. And this is why I don't participate. This is why I've isolated for all of my life and been alone for since I was 14 years old in the street. Because it literally feels like a nightmare. It feels like God made me special, and He said, I'm going to give you a soul, a heart, and a spirit, and nobody else is going to have one. And it's going to be hell for you in this world that you live in the flesh. And you will find no satisfaction and no pleasure in worldly things and worldly people. And you will feel like an outcast because you are one. And I gave you the ability to hear, see, and sense and feel, but not like everybody else. And imagine trying to warn everybody, and then they look at you like the enemy, like you're a piece of shit, like you're fucked in the head, like motherfucker, I'm just trying to show you what the fuck is what you're falling victim to. You can't see the shit because you didn't live that fucking life. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I fucking do, because I lived it and I seen it, bruh. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And I'm not the only one. You know what I mean? People they'll even know that it's the truth, and they will still decide to live in ignorance for their own well-being, I guess. You know, but ignorance and bliss is not. I mean, ignorance and bliss is ignorance and bliss, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. And it will affect everybody one day. It will kick you in the chest one day, you know. But anyways, I don't want to go too far on a rant, but I haven't done a video in a while. I was a little upset by watching that video, so I apologize if I'm a little intense. Said, threw the F-bomb in there like 300 times, but honestly, that's just who I am. It's how I've always been. It's where I come from. It's how I grew up. The people around me. Since a child, that's just how I've been developed and programmed. It's hard to undo that, a lifetime of stuff like that, and it would take another lifetime to undo it, if not longer, because it's easy to do the damage, but it's a lot harder to undo it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I can't complain. I think it's going to be another good year. It was a great year. It was a great Christmas for me. Yeah, I honestly, man, I've had one, this has been a great year. Even though that, because of COVID and everything that happened, considering, it's been a great year. You know what I mean? I'm blessed right now. I feel good. You know what I'm saying? I look good like usual. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, yeah, just think about that, man. Especially about homelessness. We only see what's on the surface, man. So us, the people, are the ones that need to wake up and come together and change this, man, because the system is playing us all against each other, bro. It's been like that. Any revolutionary influencer that ever existed in the world, from Tupac to JFK to Martin Luther King, said the same thing, bro. And they disappeared. You know what I'm saying? They got killed, assassinated, for a reason. Because it's a lot bigger than you think. You know what I mean? Keep that in mind, and when you realize that we're all being turned against each other, then we can make the conscious decision to not be turned against each other any further, and not get played any further, and we can manifest and create our own realities, because we are the creators. God gave us the ability to create as a gift. to do good, not to do bad. So anyways, if you like the video, hit the like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Comment down below and let me know what you think about that. Peace.